Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom. Before I begin, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, comment, share, and if you're interested, we have a membership in the description box below. So tonight is the season premiere of Love After Lockup, Season 4, The Jeweler and the Thief. Now, on this season, there are two returning cast members. We have Justine and Michael and Gabby and Chris. So let's start off with Justine and Michael. So we pick back up because we saw them last week. She is on the way to the prison to pick up Mike today because he is getting out. When we finally see Michael, he's walking to the car, he's smiling. I have to say he has a nice smile. He's carrying a keyboard though, and I'm thinking now, is that the keyboard? Did you buy the keyboard as part of your commissary? Because that's a little different, bringing out a full-size keyboard to fit in that sports car, but they got it in there, so it's all good. Now, Michael gives us a little bit of a background on him for things we didn't know before. He started getting in trouble as a young man. He said he was 18. He said he had to be like the man of the house. He started selling street pharmaceuticals because they didn't have no water at times, no power, no lights in the house, things like that. So, he said he had to do what he felt he had to do. So when he was out selling those street pharmaceuticals, he said he was only trying to do it for a small amount of time. But as he got into it, he started making that money, and the money is hard to resist. So he kept going, and then he got caught up. But he said there's one thing that no one could ever get him to do again. He said, and that is to sell another dime bag. So as Justine is driving home, Michael, he must have changed his clothes in the car or whatever, but he's all iced up. He's wearing all black. His hair is braided. He FaceTimes his kids and he is excited to talk to them. And you know what he also says too? He said in his confessional that, he enjoyed being a dad. He remembers when his kids were little and all the milestones they were doing. He gives a background about his kids' mothers. He's got 4 kids. He was with the first one for like 12, 13 years. The second one, he said, second child's mother, he said he was in an entanglement, kind of like a Jerry Springer kind of thing. And things got messed up. But he knows that even though he went in when they were younger, he has to relearn everything what he likes now because, of course, they're older. And then him being stripped of them growing up for the time he's lost, he said he feels devastated. But anyways, they make it to the house and Justine's giving him a tour and Michael's looking around like, wow, like this is a really nice house. It's big in here. He said he wasn't used to the space. That makes sense too. You're in a prison cell, however big it is, and you come to a house and you could just walk around and be as free as you want to be. And, he says it's going to take some time to get used to everything. So as she's showing him the different rooms for the kids, things like that, when they get to her room, now I'm looking around the room too, because I'm thinking, now did she get rid of those toenails that he had? Because I was like, first of all, that was gross anyways, at least to me it was. But I'm like, she don't need to keep those. When he's coming home, that is immediately trash. And after that, they go from her room and then to another room, like a rec room or just an office space. And that's where her stripper pole is. And she gets to spinning around there. He was like, oh, I see you've been practicing. She was like, all shy. But there's no reason to act shy, girl. You got that stripper pole for a reason. And if you've been practicing, girl, you just been practicing. So now I guess it's time for the husband and wife to do what husband and wife do. Next up is Nathan and Skylar. When we meet Nathan, he's out shopping for Skylar. It says that Skylar's going to be released in 3 days. He's shopping in a home goods store with his aunt. I believe her name is Tara. Nathan tells his aunt that when Skylar gets out, they'll be living with his grandmother, until he could get things together. Nathan tells us that Skylar is in prison for illegal substances and tampering. He says they've been dating for a year and he calls her prison Barbie. Now, while he's looking around the home goods store, Skylar happens to call. So Nathan goes outside to talk to her and she's like, oh, where you at? He goes, oh, I'm at a home goods store. I'm looking for different things for the house. I'm looking for romantic things. She goes, romantic things like what? He goes, candle holders. She's like, candle holders? I guess, Skylar, don't think candle holders are romantic. Because Skylar goes in and say, like, why can't you just find like pictures? When I had my house, he used to have pictures of cows, there was throw pillows, all kind of things she was talking about she had in her house before. Nathan is stressed behind everything she's saying. He's like, what? Like, you mean I have to go in there or go to other stores and look for this stuff? So after he gets off the phone, he goes back in the store and tells his aunt, like, oh, you know, she wants me to look for certain things. And so the aunt says, are you stressing about it? And he was saying, yes, that he is. But the background on Nathan is he spent a year in prison for illegal substances as well. Nathan says he's learned his lesson, he's turned his life around, he's on the other side of things now, and he's hoping that he can help Skylar get there too, to see like this is the right direction he needs to go into. And then Nathan's aunt says that yes, Nathan was in trouble at a young age. And she also said that Nathan lost his mom at a young age as well. And also too, with Skylar's backstory, Nathan says that he met Skylar originally because she was dating his friend. Nathan's friend, Skylar's ex-boyfriend, he also passed away doing illegal substances. So he reached out to Skylar, he sent her a letter expressing like, I know how you feel. So to me, that came across as like they were trauma bonded because that was his friend and that was her boyfriend, that they all knew each other, and that she reached back out to him. And so they reconnected and they got together and they've been dating for a whole entire year. And also something else that's interesting, Nathan, his aunt, and I believe Nathan's friends who we meet later on, go on to talk about that Skylar has a history of being with men who are no longer with us. Like they've either become missing, passed away, or whatever the case may be, they're no longer here on this earth. So there's a concern with Nathan dating Skylar because like, what if something happens to you? So in a way, I think they're trying to call Skylar a possible Black Widow. Then later on in the day, we see Nathan meet up with his friends playing pool, and he's telling them that Skylar's gonna get out in the next couple days. He's gonna pick her up and just the life that he wants to live with her. And the friends are questioning him like, you know, are you sure this is what you want to do because of Skylar's past and everything? And Nathan's saying, yeah, this is what I want to do. I love her. I'm going to try to help her, you know, see that on the right side is where she needs to be. And then Skylar calls again. So when Nathan's talking to Skylar, she's like, oh, so where you at? And he said, oh, I'm just out playing pool with friends. Oh my goodness, that conversation was like, whoa. Skylar's like, what do you mean playing pool? She's going in like, you know my history, you know this, that, this, and that. So apparently Skylar, what brings her back into maybe the world of using and doing things that may not be the best for her, and just the type of friend group that she used to hang around with, reminding her of that lifestyle. And then the next day when we see Nathan again, he's driving to the jewelry store. He said he bought a ring for Skylar. He's going to propose. He even said he has memorized the things he's going to say. And what he said was, it was really nice. It sounded very much from the heart. So you know what? Skylar calls again. It seemed like Skylar calls like every time we see Nathan. I'm just like, is she on the phone like every hour or something? But anyway, so he takes the call and she's asking where he is again. And he's like, oh, I'm at Long John Silver's. And she's like, ew, I guess she doesn't like Long John Silver's or fried foods or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, he's trying to throw her off. It's not like he's going to say, oh, I'm at a jewelry store getting a ring for you. So anyways, after their phone call, he goes inside. He picks up the ring, pays off the balance. And then one of the funny things is, to the lady who works there, he's like, so, is your name Olivia? She said, yeah. He goes, He goes, you know what? I think I stole your mom's car back in the day. I am so sorry. I'm like, that was so random. If that wasn't the most random conversation, I don't know what is, but he apologized, and I guess that's what it was. I mean, Nathan did say he was trying to turn his life around, so hopefully we get to see him do that. Then we have Ashley and Travis. So when we see Ashley, one of the first things she does is walk in the bathroom, and then she's like, whoa, she fell on the floor. So I guess she was a little clumsy. She describes herself as a mess. She also describes herself as she's a compassionate person and wild, and also a freak in the sheets. I'm thinking, you're coming across just a little ditzy to me, but I could be wrong. Ashley said she's never been married, but she was engaged before because the guy she was engaged to liked her because she had a big butt. I'm like, that's the only reason why he was engaged to you? Like, how long did you know this guy to be engaged to you because you had a big butt? Did he say that? Like, hey, I want to marry you because your butt is big. That's not a reason to be engaged, but that's just me. She describes herself and her job that she is an antique dealer. She's been in the jewelry business for 13 years. And when she met Travis, it was through a customer. The customer showed her a picture of her brother who happened to be incarcerated, and that was Travis. So she reached out. She said, I slid in his JPay, which I guess you send commissary photos, messages, whatever, to the inmate, and that's how they met. Now, at the same time, Ashley said that she didn't want to be judged and she worries about what people say, because over the 13 years that he's been in prison, Travis, she spent over $80,000. I said $80,000 on what? Like, is there $80,000 worth of phone calls? Is it $80,000 worth of commissary? $80,000 worth of messages? Like, $80,000, that is more than someone's car, that's more than someone's house, that's more than someone's salary for the year. But okay, Ashley, you have your own business, so I guess maybe you have money like that to spend or throw away. Travis has been in prison for robbing a bank, and she's worried about if he may eventually rob her store. I mean, hey, that's something you do need to think about, just in general anyways. Then we see Ashley on a video call with Travis. He's pillow talking her. He's telling her everything she wants to hear. Like, you know, when I get out, we're gonna do this and that. You know, your boob's gonna be on my face. Your legs gonna be over here on me, and just all kind of stuff. And Ashley's eating this up because, see, remember, Ashley said she was a freak in the sheets, so this is right up her alley. Then later on in the evening, we see Ashley. She's inviting Martin over. Now, Martin happens to be her next door neighbor / handyman. Now, is he a handyman for real, or does he just like to come by to say, hey, what's up to Ashley? Because Ashley said not only does he do handiwork for her, he's also asked her out for a date, and Travis don't want her talking to him no more because, you know, he doesn't like that. But Ashley said she invited Martin over for drinks, you know, just one last time before Travis comes over because she don't want any drama. And at the same time, she said that Martin, if anything went down, will protect her and keep her safe. And I'm like, Martin's gonna keep you safe? You pretty much kicking Martin to the curb. I don't know. This relationship with Ashley and Travis, and then Martin on the side, this gives me a little bit sprinkling of Angela and Tony when they were on their season, like the first or second season of Love After Lockup. So next up, we have Monique and Derek. Now, Derek's gonna be out in 3 days as well. She says that before she met Derek, she's never spent like more than 2 days in a row with a man. So what I'm getting from that is like, don't even leave your shoes under my bed, just leave them by the door because you got to get out. But Monique says she's ready for love, and she one day was on Facebook and scrolling through, and all of a sudden the Facebook prison pen pals popped up. Apparently the Facebook prison pen pals pops up more often than you know, because that's what a lot of them seem to say. Oh, I met him on a prison pen pal group. Monique says she found love in the craziest place, and she said that Derek went to prison when he was 19 and he's 29 now. And I'm thinking, okay, so he went in for 8 years, but 19 to 29 is 10 years. So maybe she's talking about like when he went in officially and maybe not trial year. She sent Derek a message, and for the pictures that they were showing on the messages that she sent, now either 2 years ago when she met him online, either she was smaller then, or maybe she was on medication and made her gain weight, but either those photos were photoshopped or she was that size in, because Monique is heavier. Now, I'm not one to talk about someone being heavier, not at all. But when Derek comes out, he's gonna be looking for the person in the picture. So they're having small talk, and Derek says, are you nervous? Monique was like, yes, I am. He said, well, you don't have to be nervous because I'm gonna have your back no matter what, and nothing's gonna change when I get out. So when she gets off the phone, Monique pulls up to her destination, and she pulls up to a bar with her friends and her sister. And they're asking her, like, girl, what took you so long? She's like, oh, I was on the phone with Derek. You know, he don't like for me to go out, but I'm here now. I mean, what's to drink? Like, where are the drinks at? Like, we already ordered ours. She goes, oh, okay. So she ordered her drink, and then the friends and the sister get to have a conversation about, again, is she nervous? And, you know, has she ever met him before? And what does she think about his healthy lifestyle? One of the friends also mentioned, like, so how old is he? And she just said, oh, he's 29. And they were like, 29? Girl, he's young for you because you usually like him 50, 60, like retirement age. Monique says, oh, yeah, but Derek, he's mature, so that's what I like. Then they ask her more questions about marriage and where do they think things will go. And she said she didn't know, but she was hoping, you know, to have a more solid relationship. Monique answered the questions, but she didn't really answer the questions because I think she's nervous about what's going to go down when they meet in person, because also in confessional, two of her friends said, the type of friends who's gonna keep it real with her, like they're not gonna sugarcoat anything. And I think you do need a friend who's not gonna sugarcoat things for you to let you know what the reality is. But with Monique, I mean, she doesn't really seem like she's gonna listen. She don't give me the, I'm gonna listen to my friends kind of vibe, like what's best for me. She falls under the, I know what's best for me and I'm gonna take it from there. So then after the outing, it's the next day or whenever, we see Monique. She's at a weight loss and nutritional center, and she happens to have Derek on the phone. Why have him on the phone if you're not being exactly honest? But I don't know if he can really hear the entire conversation, but Monique is asking the doctor about weight loss and the journey that she could go on. And then the doctor asked Monique about her story and her history of like being heavier, thinner, whatever the case may be. And then Monique says that about 2.5 years ago, she had a baby who didn't survive more than 3 days. So she became depressed. She started eating. Then COVID hit. And then next, you know, she gained 150 pounds. So that's Monique's story about how she put on the weight. And the doctor agreed that it is, you know, she did gain the weight due to her depression. But, you know, she's willing to have Monique take the steps to lose some weight, but the doctor also told her that, you know, you can't lose this weight overnight. And then you hear the phone go, 1 more minute left. And I'm like, he's still on the phone? I thought maybe she hit mute or hung up or whatever. And so she's like, did you hear that, babe? So then she said, oh, do you have anything to ask the doctor? And then Derek asked, oh, well, what about the drinkings or the libations? So the doctor said, well, yeah, you know, that could put on excess weight too. So Monique sat back, was kind of like the doctor was co-signing what Derek was trying to tell her. Finally, we have Gabby and Chris. So Gabby is back for another season. She's at a cosmetic salon, talking with her friend, I guess, or whoever owns the place. She's there to get a vaginal tightening and bleaching her behind and just all this stuff because Chris is coming home tomorrow and she wants to be tight and right. So the esthetician Felicia asked her, how's your relationship with Chris and his family? Gabby goes on to say that, you know, the relationship isn't the best and they think I'm a gold digger, but, you know, it's not my fault that, you know, he sent me some of his settlement. And we're reminded that Chris got a settlement from him being in prison. He was beaten by guards and he won a lawsuit. He won like $100,000 and he sent Gabby half. Now, Gabby says Chris don't have a dime, a nickel, a penny. She spent all that money and now she supports him by herself. Gabby says she's got cosmetic procedures done. She's got Botox. She got lip fillers. She did something to her face, all kind of stuff. $30,000 on cosmetic procedures. She said that she got a car, she got an apartment, she paid down bills, all this stuff. I'm thinking, you're right. You don't have nothing left. And I can see why maybe his mom and his family don't care for you. So that does give gold digger status. But Gabby also goes on to say that Chris's mom and his sister don't know that when they pick him up tomorrow, that they're actually going to get married. And it doesn't matter what they say. She's ready to show them and put it in their face like, I'm getting married and there's nothing you could do about it. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's also part of the reason why they don't care for you, because Gabby and Gabby's attitude is a lot. The next time we see her, she's picking up Chris's mom, Chris's sister. They're headed to pick up Chris and see him before he goes to the halfway house. The conversation is awkward because, again, Gabby don't care for them. They don't care for Gabby, but the mom keeps the conversation going, talk about, oh, are you excited to see Chris? So then they make it to the hotel and they check in. Everything seems to be fine for the meantime. Then we roll into the morning and now it's time to pick up Chris. Chris calls Gabby's phone, talk about, listen, I'm be out by 11:30. Make sure you're up here. I don't have that much time before I have to be at the halfway house. Gabby's like, okay. Like, we're gonna be up there. So then we see Chris's mom and sister sitting down having breakfast and just having a regular conversation. Gabby's getting upset. She's telling Chris, like, oh my gosh, like, we can't even leave. They're having breakfast. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, ooh, I'm so mad I can cry. So she gets off the phone. She goes up to the table, talk about, oh, well, we need to go. Chris is waiting on us. She said he just called me. He used the bus driver's phone. So we gotta go now. Chris's mom and sister goes, what? We having breakfast. Like, we have time. It's only 8:30, only takes 2 hours. We're gonna have our breakfast and enjoy this. And Gabby's like, oh my gosh, she's mad. She got an attitude. So she calls Chris back. Now here's my thing. You called him back and you just said using the bus driver's phone. So now you're blowing up the bus driver's phone to talk to Chris. So Chris is back on the phone again. He's like, oh man, I'm about to leave. Like, I don't want to be sitting out here and y'all not here yet. She goes, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they won't leave. I'm sick of this. So he goes, all right, let me call you back. So then Chris calls his sister's phone. Chris goes, man, I'm about to be up here, so y'all need to go. And she said, you're not going to be up there till like 11:30. It's only 8:30. We have time. We're finishing our breakfast and we can have some coffee. So they get off the phone. He calls Gabby's phone back again, talk about, you know what? It's just whatever. So as the mom and Chris's sister get up from breakfast, Gabby is all attitude. She's like, you know what? We need to leave. This is going to be all your fault if we miss him. They're like, you know what? You need to calm down. So they get in the car and Gabby refuses to get in the car. She's like, you know what? I don't even want to be in the car with them. And the sister's like, you know what? I don't care what you're talking about. You're going to get in this car because we're not getting out. Gabby goes, no, you can't make me get in there. The sister's like, you know what? Chris bought this car and I'll bust these windows out this car. Girl, you better get in this car. And the next thing you know, that was the end of the episode. So I guess maybe we'll find out next week what happened. So, all right, everyone. This episode, I actually enjoyed this episode. It seemed like it's going to be better than last week or last season's Love During Lockup, even though we have Justine and Michael returning. I think they're a good couple to return, and Gabby and Chris, even though they're back on the season, I know there's things that went on before the show was aired, so there's lots of spoilers out there, but don't leave them in the comments just let the show be genuine for as much as it can be. And the other couples, I'm here for that. So, okay, everyone, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share, and leave your comments. And until next time, thank you all again for watching. Live simply, be grateful.